I'd like to just start by recounting a conversation I had with someone in Delhi. It was several years ago, but it's a conversation that has always stuck in the back of my mind. And the person I was speaking to, I was asking him about when he learned English. He's absolutely fluent in English. And I said, so when did you start learning English? I mean, how does it work? I don't really understand how it works in India. What do you learn first? Hindi, in his case, or English? Or did you learn them together? He said, you know, Amy, Hindi is my mother tongue, and English is my father tongue. And I thought that was such an interesting way of looking at it. And I think that's something that's very particular to India, is this idea of these two languages that go together. And I don't know that many other countries where such a situation exists for some people. I'm not saying this is the situation for everybody in India at all. But for some people that is the case. They have two languages which they can use interchangeably, although they have their own spheres of use. So I think it's important to remember that the situation in India is unique when it comes to English. And I really do believe that. I also wanted to say, it's touching on points that have been made already, because a lot of what I was thinking has already been discussed. But I think this idea of an ELT as an industry, we really need to remember that it's already an industry. It's a global, multi-crore industry that is, spread across the world with publishers, with educational institutions, with teachers, with students paying huge amounts of money to learn English. And as Professor Narang said, India has a lot to contribute to that, and already is contributing. Teachers from India are going to other countries and teaching English, because English is a language that it's one of their own languages, so they're able to do this. So I think that's absolutely true, is that India is already contributing to this industry. But in terms of thinking about how it works within India, I think it's extremely complicated. And I'm slightly hesitant to say, yes, I agree, it should have the status of an industry. And part of that hesitancy comes from, I'm not really sure how something becomes an industry. I mean, I just said that I think it's already a global industry, but I mean, does someone just decide, right, it's ELT is now an industry, ta-da! I'm not sure how that works. And yes, I agree, we need accreditation, we need standards, we need some kind of regulation, but how does that happen? Who decides that you are going to need to have this accreditation in order for people to take you seriously and want to send their children to your school? How does that process start? I mean, that is a long-term process that needs to be put in place. It's not something that can happen just because, people decide that that's a good idea. And also, is this something that is going to be done by the government, or is it something that's going to be taken on board by the private sector? And I think if we're thinking then about the private sector and the public sector, we have that issue which was mentioned earlier today about, is this just going to create a bigger divide in who has access to quality English language teaching and who doesn't? Because it's already, there are English schools all over the place already, as Angela was saying. There's low-cost schools teaching English in some form or another all over the country. Hundreds of thousands of these institutions. But how do we, it's almost like we have to decide how we're going to tame the beast that is the ELT industry that's kind of already created itself. And I'm not sure what the process is for that. So I'm on the fence. Or maybe I'm not on the fence, maybe I think the question is not should ELT be an industry, but what are we going to do about it? I think that's all I have to say for now. Thank you.